So it's Sunday and we have come to Victoria Falls. And we are in the country of Zimbabwe. So we have Sandra and Chipo. And Chipo and Sandra are our guides. And we have arrived in Zimbabwe at Victoria Falls Airport. Fairly small place. Seems clean. And we'll be going to the Victoria Falls.
The boys in the streets, they'll be selling their things. They'll just go in back. They don't do like the rubber.
So here we are at the Victoria Falls Hotel. Getting ready to check in. A backpack on my back makes it pretty heavy. A nice 20-minute drive from the airport. It's in a town of 200,000, but the police station was probably smaller than our house. Had a dirt road. Here we are at the Victoria Falls Hotel, and we've had our lunch and checked into our room. And this is out the front of the hotel. This is a bridge over the Zambezi River, and you see the mist coming up from Victoria Falls, which is just on the other side of that cliff. This hotel is beautiful. We're staying in the same room that the Queen and Queen Mother stayed in, but that was a while back. The Queen was 17 years old. Queen Elizabeth was 17 years old when she visited here. But it's still beautiful. And we haven't even explored very much. The pool is over that way. And here we are back to the Zambezi River. It looks like a good place to paddle. Alright, let's go walking down we're going to walk down the path that way. So we've come down to the Zambezi River below the falls, and we see a bridge, and there are people that bungee jump from that bridge, but we haven't seen anybody bungee jump. We can see the mist from the fall, and we can see the river. The river is a long way down, so I'm sure these rapids are a lot bigger than they look like they are. What it does is a real sharp turn in the river, and this seems to be a little blind area with a lot of whirlpools and all, because the river hits here and it circles back around, and it seems to come up right here after it's gone down, and then we see the river go on down from here. So we're tied up on the Zimbabwe side of the river, and we're going to go up the river. The falls are way down here. You can see the spray from the falls. And on the other side of the river is Zambia. And it's the 4th largest river in Africa, next to the Nile and the Congo and the Niger River. Well, we've seen our second hippo. He just went underwater right up here. He'll come back up in a minute. I'll turn off the camera for a second. Here he came up. Hello, Mr. Hippo. We're seeing crocodiles. I don't know if the camera can catch them so far in. There he is. I can get him zoomed in. Couldn't get him with the zoom before. So we're looking back at the Zambia side, and it's just interesting. People live in these woods, and they live in little villages, and there are roads, and there are schools, and there are bus stops, and there are sewers along the roads. And the animals that live in the woods are rhinos and hippos and lions and leopards and serval cats and crocodiles and various kinds of antelopes instead of deer. And there's some snakes and all, but probably no worse than the ones we have in America. And it never snows, it never gets cold. I don't think it'd be too bad. We're here in the southern hemisphere, and it's summer, and it's 28 degrees Celsius, which is not bad. And we just saw crocodiles, and we're looking for more hippos. We're probably no more than 5 miles above the falls, and we're already getting into some whitewater. And we can't go any farther in the party boat. And you can see way up farther, if you can see that far, that it gets much bigger than that even. Fearless Captain, he says,
just calm down, no problem. Sure. I hope one will come. Okay. Thank you, enjoy your cruise.
He says this is Kandahar Island, named by a British soldier who fought in Kandahar in Afghanistan in 1806. The little islands way back in the back are not claimed by Zambia or Zimbabwe, and elephants and hippos, etc., swim across to these islands. This over here is, of course, Zambia, and he's going to set us up for a pretty sunset tonight.
It's only 6 o'clock, so we got 45 minutes yet.
Carmen, are you sure they don't have vodka down there? They got just about everything. I think I see smeared off.
They do.
Isn't that a great
This
big
is
bottle
our
of
great
champagne
group.
right in the center?
Here is Carmen and Ray, and behind him Frank, who seems to be the most worldly of the group, the best traveler, and David, who has traveled to Australia and New Zealand with us, and Sandy, and Wendy, and my Susan, and Fred, and Billy, our waiter. So there's a few other boats around, and this boat found a hippo that is unusual. He keeps blowing water up in the air like a whale does, or a porpoise does, which has been unusual. We've been watching him. He's right up in this area. And he has disappeared for a short time. They did find some hippos on the other side of the island.
See him under the tree.
And some more over here. I haven't seen the one over here. I'll have to narrow in on it as soon as they point him out to me. But there were 2 hippos where I just showed. The ones on the left are up again in this area. one that came up over here. This is one of the ones over on the left side. Our second view of the falls. This is the very first cataract. Raging river. There are 7 different cataracts to the falls. The one below us is the very first one. Statue of David Livingstone at the top of the falls. Found the falls brought here by the natives. Beautiful little walk through the woods.
This is the Devil's Cataract at the beginning of the main falls. Another thing that Devil's Cataract is 70 meters to the bottom.
Getting down toward the main falls.
This is the Boab tree. It's the oldest tree that they know. It's where Livingstone camped when he first found the falls. It's 1,500 years old. Look at the size of it. It's just absolutely gigantic. It says its roots go out 1,500 meters.